With a huge round of applause, please welcome Sir Abhay Pathak. I would request Dr. Naresh, Director Academics, to felicitate Abhay sir.
I request Abhay sir to kindly come forward. Thank you, Naresh sir. Abhay sir, I would request you to kindly take the top screen.
Our next respected guest is an alumnus of IIM Calcutta. He has been in the field of sales and marketing for over 19 years of both substantial international and domestic experience. With strong expertise in international business, marketing strategy, commodities, and negotiation, Sir has worked across industries such as food and beverages, banking, and corporate services. Currently, Sir is the Vice President, IT, Digital, and International Businesses at Kellinkers Agro Limited. I would like to mention that Sir has been associated with this organization for more than 15 years. Let us have a look at Sir's motivational journey. With a huge round of applause, I would like to welcome Sir Surya Mihala. Sir, please take the center stage. I would request Dr. Vinay Mandre, Sir, Associate Professor Marketing, to felicitate Surdeep, Sir. Thank you, Vinay, sir. Surdeep, sir, I would request you to please take the stage.
Our next honorable guest is a successful entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in establishing and scaling businesses. His enthusiasm for the health and wellness sector has propelled him to succeed and established himself as a thought leader in this profession. In addition to his professional endeavors, he's also an angel investor who appreciates meeting new entrepreneurs. Sir is the founder and CEO of True Native, one of India's fastest growing nutrition startups, and the managing director of Passion Global, a major B2B nutraceutical firm, and is committed in driving innovation and delivering impactful solutions that enhances people's life. Let us all have a look at Sir's magnificent career. With a huge round of applause, please welcome Mr. Pranav. I request Mr. Please come forward, and may I request Dr. Bharat Bhushan Singh, Director of PIBM, to felicitate Pranav sir. Thank you, Bharat sir. I request Pranav sir to kindly take the stage.
With 18 long years of experience in the field of e-commerce and marketing, our next expected guest has worked with renowned organizations such as Nivea, Star India, Unilever, and General Mills. With expertise in areas of segmentation, management, and media planning, Sir has worked in multiple roles across companies. Currently, Sir is the e-commerce leader in Nielsen IQ. Let us have a look at Sir's magnificent journey. With a huge round of applause, please welcome Sir Rocking Babar. Other guests, Dr. Ridhiman Mukhopadhyay, Assistant Director, Marketing, MDP, and Consulting, to felicitate Praful Sir. Thank you, Ridhiman Sir. Praful Sir, I would request you to take the seat.
It's time to commence the discussion session in which our revered dignitaries will talk about e-commerce and digital transformation in FMCG. The discussion will revolve around the following aspects. Number one, shifting consumer behavior,
Embracing e-commerce,
digital market and customer engagement,
data-driven decision-making,
supply chain and logistics,
building customer trust and loyalty,
innovations in digital technologies.
global expansion and market research.
The discussion will be for 60 minutes, followed by a 30 minutes Q&A session with the audience. We would request Praful Sir to chair the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure that we are here today, and I welcome all the guests here. Really excited to see the journey that all of us have had. And we are also excited to see all of you here in all attention. And we hope the next 60 minutes will enlighten you guys with all the education, all the information about the content to watch for us. So, welcome everybody. All right, so interesting topic. We heard in the morning, majority of us have really spoken about e-commerce as being a smaller brother, and most of the purchasing still happens from the regular channels or general trade. What do you guys think? Is it the phenomenon at the moment, or you think it's going to change in the future? Let me start with you, sir. First. Yeah.
Yeah. Audible? Okay. Good afternoon, guys. Great. Sir has rightly said, it is almost a 95% contribution is coming from Kirana stores. Right? Kirana is basically a general trade channel. GT, someone is called it as TT, traditional trade. So, in any FMCG company, if you just see the overall contribution of all the channels, mostly 70% business is coming from GT, 10% is modern trade, 10% is e-commerce, and 10% is your institutional, like Horeca, canteens, airlines, whatever. So GT is a dominant player, no doubt, and you cannot substitute GT to e-commerce to modern trade. It is a if you want to run any FMCG company, GT will be there. So how come this 10% contribution is coming from e-commerce then? Right? So earlier it was 100% GT, then 20% was from modern trade. I will just give you numbers so that you will understand the basic crux of this, all the channels and how distribution is happening. E-commerce contribution is 10%. Yes, it is a younger brother, you can say smaller brother. But it's a very important channel to launch your any new launch. If you want to just put it in the market, e-commerce is the best option available right now, available in India. You can start with e-commerce and then you can see the results coming out of it, and then you can think of launching in modern trade, launching in general trade. Depending upon the product size, depending upon the price, it is e-commerce is the most important channel from last, I will say, 7 to 8 years, or from after COVID, it has gotten tremendous importance. Yeah.
Absolutely. COVID was a phenomenon which actually changed consumer behavior. So, from the data perspective, we at NIQ have a lot of information around e-commerce and modern trade and general trade, especially for the FMCG segment. And we have seen a good amount of penetration from e-commerce coming from FMCG during COVID. What happened post-COVID also was a little bit of a shift back towards traditional trade, but there were certain segments, for example, personal care, and certain premium products in food and lifestyle that continued with consumer habits after COVID too. And consumers have been really sticking back to that channel again. I would like to now speak to get a view from Sumit sir about what does he think from his line of business. How has really consumer behavior changed in e-commerce post COVID?
What I would like to say is that we probably live in fads. Right? There is a fad every 5 years, and we talk about this consumer behavior shift. Like in COVID, we were almost writing the death certificate for offices. Right? Nobody would go back. This is the new way. Whereas now we are seeing people pulling back and people saying it's far more productive to come back to office. So we as consumers are very quick to jump to a conclusion. Whereas what I believe is consumer behavior has not changed. It has remained static, and that's how brands have remained relevant. What social media or e-commerce has done is created a lot of noise around brands or new age brands. Like you rightly said, it's a great platform to find the product market fit. But for FMCG companies that work on 15 to 20 to 25% gross margins, it's one of the channels. And how I would take that channel is also piggyback on somebody else. So, for example, if my product is listed on Spencer's or Nature's Basket or Namdari's, I would probably back them to create an e-commerce site and put my product there, rather than me going and creating a website pan-India and doing servicing and delivery. Because I do not have to create brand recognition or drive customer acquisition costs by deep discounting. That we leave it to the new age brands. Our job is to be available. Our job is to crack the distribution game of being available. Today, if you look in the non-FMCG segment, why is Maruti or an ICICI Bank the number one player? Is because they've cracked the game of distribution. They've cracked the game of simplicity. We create simple cards that can be serviced simply and available everywhere. Similarly, in an FMCG, we create simple products that's available everywhere for your simple needs. And hence, we do not come with the 70% gross margins, and we have existed for years. That's where my take is.
Absolutely relevant point. If you look at margins, and that's a very important factor when it comes to profitability of the channel, and it is important for us to win that game. Otherwise, sustainability becomes problematic. So I would like to hear from Pranavji, because you have really aced this, if I may, this entire story about True Native and how you set an example of how do you build an online business, especially with premium products, and how have you overcome this challenge around profitability and margins?
Very good evening, good afternoon, guys. I am honored to be part of this special forum to discuss my experience and to give you a small background. I lead a brand called True Native, which is one of the fastest growing nutrition brands in the country. It's backed by Imami Group alongside Nitin Kamath from Zerodha. And we've been in the market for about 36 months and seen a very strong uphill journey. I believe we have a very interesting and a varied panel here with FMCG veterans such as Kevin does Agrotech and Hector Beverages. We've seen a lot of push on the offline and from such brands, but I would be able to give you a lot more perspective on how online works. If you look at the demographic of India, it's a very young country. We're one of the youngest countries in the world, and what we've been seeing since Jio had made free internet is that internet penetration is growing a lot. Consumption patterns of, I would say, consumers are changing. Advertising mediums have changed, and we've seen a lot of activity in the last few years of the e-commerce market. I would say e-commerce or D2C as a channel, it makes perfect sense. It cannot be the only foundation of a business. Whenever you're looking out to create a business, you have different revenue streams that you build out on. Certain mistakes by a lot of brands were solely dependent on e-commerce as a channel. What happens over there is, you are spending heavy marketing dollars, and the rising acquisition cost that you see online is not very sustainable. Like Abhay sir very rightly mentioned, it is a great tool to show you your product market fit, to show you your launches, to hear from your customers. Because what happens is you skip the entire chain of supplies and deliver direct to the customer. So what happens over there is you control the data. And as we would have heard, that data is the new gold. What it also enables you to do is create a cross-sell upsell opportunity, which a lot of I would say traditional FMCGs miss out on. So you may be distributing like about 10 lakh bottles in a region, but you don't really have the exact persona of your customer. And what e-com really does is gives you that ability to really drive down to what is driving the consumption behind your brand and tailor make your products accordingly. I would say that is a very important angle one must consider when scaling online. We've been a part of Imami Group, who are veterans in this industry. And what happens is, as the internet penetration grows, more and more people are looking at, I would say, Facebook as a very interesting ad medium. And I believe a lot of you guys over here would have certainly played some of the other opportunity to have a D2C brand delivered to your campus or your home directly. So this is a very interesting shift that is happening in the market. My suggestion or experience would say that it should not be the only channel you're scaling on. Brands need to build to be built. Brands are supposed to be built on a 360-degree platform. So we at Native are available on, I would say, our D2C store, our e-com channels, modern trade, exports, CSD, army canteens, and I would say every touch point that the customer is wanting to look at. Very importantly, is a very famous dialogue by Ashwin Grover. I would like to repeat it over here that अगर 500 के नीचे का प्रोडक्ट है तो ऑनलाइन आपके लिए धंधा बना नहीं है. What happens is when you spend big bucks on Google or Facebook, you have a typical cost of acquisition of a customer which is 650, 700, 800 bucks. It would not make a lot of sense for the brands who are selling products which are at a 10 rupee price point or a 30 rupees price point. Just imagine the LTV you need to push, right? To recover or go break even, you need to sell that product 30 times online, which somewhere would not fit into your consumption pattern at all. And with the rising delivery costs, I would say online is made more for experiential products or higher AOV products. In our case, our AOV as good as about 800 to 1000 on good days. So, in a case wherein we're able to pull out the LTV or consumption pattern for 3 months and we go profitable, right? That is not very feasible for slightly lower price SKUs, I would say. So whenever you're looking out to build online, I would say your unit economics should be covering out your CM2 positivity, and that is my opinion on the changing consumer rules. But very importantly, as we all have mobile phones on our hands, brands have the ability to target to us and reach very strong demographics. The tier 2 consumption has started to build out with aspirational products. Today, as True Native, we get 30% of our orders from tier 2 pin codes. Traditionally, Kirana or I would say Wellness Forever in that area does not hold the product that they may want to buy, which online gives them the opportunity to service, right? So I would say it is a very interesting double-edged sword. You need to know how to balance it. And I would love to share one of my thoughts as the talk progresses.
It's an interesting point that you mentioned, 500 plus, and that's a challenge, especially when it comes to FMCG, because a lot of FMCG products are not that much. If you look at certain categories, they might be premium, but most of them are not in many categories. A sabun or a shampoo or a washing powder. So the point that would naturally come as a question to all of us, and I would like to ask Affair sir, because you also work in modern trade, the offline modern trade and the online business and a business such as Paperboard, for example, right? Like the beverages. How do you therefore, how are you able to navigate this challenge of making enough margins as well as maintaining the relevance of the online channel experientially, as well as to fulfill the demands coming in from certain regions of India in a context where the product is selling at less than 100 rupees?
Yeah. So, like Mr. Pranav has rightly said, there is no point selling a 10 rupees product on e-commerce platform. I will tell you the difference between a modern trade supply chain and an e-commerce supply chain. In modern trade, so basically, you just need to think it's a war between all the FMCG players to make your product available for the shoppers, be it MT, be it e-com, or be it any channel. So now the cost of making that product available to the shopper is high in e-commerce. Why? Because the product is getting delivered to your doorstep at an individual level, right? In modern trade, the shopper will go, he will roam with the trolley and he will pick the product and he will come back with his own expenses. E-commerce, the expense has been borne by the e-commerce player. And that cost, obviously, he will not borne, he will take that cost from the supplier. So the cost of e-commerce, if you just see the margins or the TODs at the e-commerce platform are comparatively higher than modern trade or than any GT channel, if you just compare. How we are managing this show, or as a FMCG player, how they are managing the show is they are just making a combo, because we do have a 10 rupees product available. You must have heard about Paperboard Swing, that green color ka pouch. We are not selling 10 rupees single product on any e-commerce platform. We are just making a pack of 6, pack of 8. Then 1 later you will see pack of 3. Right. So that way we are managing because the shopper, the vehicle will go from the delivery point to the end consumer. Same amount of fuel, same amount of cost will be incurred. You just need to take more money from the shopper. That way you will have to manage your cost and your business. So at the hector beverages at a paperboard level, yes, we are making the combis. So we do sell a small chicky. You must have heard about chicky. Paperboard chicky is available in DMart, Reliance, etc. and e-commerce as well. But on Amazon or on Flipkart or on Big Basket, we are selling those chickies in multi-packs just to manage the cost. Because anyways, you are putting more money, you are putting more investment on e-commerce platform just to get the product available on search. Right? It's a war again. If you just write a cheeky, your brand should be available on top of that search. So you are investing more, that you should get proper returns. So that way, volume should be there, and everybody is trying to manage this particular operation.
Interesting point. So how do you really bundle smaller value packs to make it a bigger value so that you get economies of scale and therefore make the channel profitable? I'd like to pass this question back to Survey. From your line of business, how do you therefore see, other than of course bundling, are there any other levers that you can leverage for products such as yours, juices or maybe milk or any other ones that you feel could be also leveraging different kinds of mechanism to ensure that the channel becomes more profitable?
I mean, as a standalone channel e-commerce, there is no way that we'll be profitable. It's a done deal. There's no way we've been trying. I mean, coming in, as we said, it's a war, so we need to choose our battles wisely. If a traditional FMCG player would not choose to battle it out online, to bid on a keyword or pay a high customer acquisition cost, because we already have those customers in our flow. I mean, when it comes to paperboard, nobody needs to educate a customer what paperboard is. So if it comes to fruity, nobody needs to tell them. Today it's almost synonymous with mango drink, whether you have Maza or Slice. So we don't want to play that battle. I think where our digital game is coming in is in the back end, the supply chain, the logistics. How efficiently can we reach the last mile for us, as we say in the retailer? How quickly? Because if today a pack of fruity is not available at a store, tomorrow nobody's going to come back for 2. I think that is the challenge that digital is solving for us. How from super to distributor, from distributor to retailer, how can we digitize that network to pinpoint demand and demand of a certain SKU? Because we all, when it comes to fruity, we have 50 SKUs of fruity, right from 2 liters to, let's say, 25 ml, right? That is where our entire digital focus is, to pinpoint demand, hence pinpoint efficiency in supply chain, in production, logistics, and availability. And that is where the margin is. ATL marketing is taken care of. Online marketing is not something, because people are not searching for us online. So we really don't want to be in that war as for us.
Yeah. So we spoke of margins, we spoke of supply chain, we spoke of rationalization. But the point that you mentioned, Pranav, about India being a young country, aspirational needs are there. You spoke of a lot of property that are generated, and therefore how do you really ensure that e-commerce as a channel is more attractive to the youngsters of India or even the other population. I know for a fact that Big Billion Days as a property of Flipkart is becoming even more popular than Flipkart itself. Myntra has now started looking at reinventing themselves. You must have seen the new Myntra app, right? It's much more interesting. There's a new platform called Meesho, which is playing the war game. It's with discounting, and therefore it's following the model of brick and mortar in some of the advanced markets in the world. So coming back to your point, therefore, how do you think from a consumer lens, why is there so much of an excitement around e-com channel? And what do you think is really gratifying for the consumer to really go and spend time on the digital channel. There is approximately 30 to 40 minutes that an average consumer spends when buying a t-shirt online as a data point. Now coming to FMCG again, what do you think makes the consumer take really when it comes to engaging and buying digitally?
My opinion, this is that all of us in our minds have somewhere built a persona of each brand that we use. It may be Colgate, X, Y, Z. Dialogue from that brand. Brands have become more and more human today, right? Earlier, there was a part of time when in my childhood I used to wonder that all of these companies make their product under a magic box. I don't know how they appear over here. But now, what is relevant to today is social media generation or inquisitive generation is. I'm a part of that generation, guys. I'm not very old. Is that I want to know more about the brand or I want to know about how the brand speaks. You see a lot of brands on Twitter now. Threads. It's been very steamy online to see Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg fight like that. But brands somewhere have a language that can be spoken through social media. Your offline consumption, when you're buying a product across the brick and mortar store or a GT store, does not have that experience which a brand is able to narrate offline. While it may not provide to 80% of their or 90% of their revenue share, I believe it gives them a chance to interact with the consumer to further refine their marketing and their brand experience. In fact, you would be surprised that one of the largest players in this country in offline has pushed out a strong move to have substantial sales come from online, and I'm talking about Amul. Amul has opened their own D2C, wherein instead of one pack, since you know you buy Amul Gold, you can pick a pack of 24 which you can buy online and have it delivered to your house directly. What happens over here for Amul is they don't pay customer acquisition cost at all because you want to buy Amul, Amul doesn't want to sell to you. You just want to buy the whole pack for yourself and your family. And over there, they end up saving that 20-25% of distribution margin they would have spent offline, right? In brands such as Amul or I would say lower priced SKUs, bundling is a very, very strong opportunity. But in that case, the pull has to come from the brand itself. It can't be a pull-based marketing because you don't have those marketing dollars that can fit into your P&L. So Amul is looking at growing their online sales to 18% of revenue, and trust me, when you're selling 40,000 crore, 18% of revenue is a large number. So what happens over here, I would say e-com does not play the role of sales alone. It plays the role of brand presentation. You will see Amul launching a product called Smooth, which were with Varun Dhawan. These are strong, I would say, levers to show that traditional businesses are wanting to participate in this entire inquisitiveness around e-com. And it is fairly right at their part because if they're able to really pull the customer and have them buy without cost of acquisition, it makes sense to the bottom line as well, right? They don't spend much on marketing. In fact, I will give you a stronger example. In my opinion, a job of a startup is essentially to provide a better customer experience, refreshed packaging, energetic voice to the brand. How many of you guys know of Mama? You would have heard of Mama. I think most of you all know about Mama, right? Did India have skin creams before Mama? It did. What Mama did is got onto the tagline of paraben free or SLS free, and somewhere showed a new age approach to what skin creams can look like. And do you believe Mama would have somewhere caused a dent in the overall FMCG space when it comes to ponds or etc. Who are selling the market? Do you believe Mama with 1,000 crore rupees revenue now is on to doing something or the else? Looking at profitability, of course, they are on the brink of that because of the online skill that they've been able to achieve. But now is a stage wherein these brands will look at the journey from 1,000 crore brand to a 5,000 crore brand, and that's where they become challengers of the large scale efforts. And this is a real threat to FMCGs. Thus, they look to pivot to e-com strategies with HUL launching something called Love, Beauty and Planet. While Head and Shoulders cannot go on e-com, but Love, Beauty and Planet, 5x margin on that product, same which is packed into a Head and Shoulder, but they will scale it online just to be in that arena of brands that they are seeing, which may act as a threat tomorrow. So my opinion is that there has to be a balance in your business model. You have to use these channels at the right time, right space, right methodology, and there are pros and cons to every channel, I would say. But e-com is here to stay. I think the consumption pattern of consumers are really changing. Consumers are used to being pampered now. They want to essentially have the customer care of their D2C brand call and pick up the phone and talk to them about why their parcel was late, while the GT store cannot ever provide you that experience. So I would say it is here to stay, and you will see a substantial share of shift in the low, I would say lower price brands as well. Whoever I wanted to jump on the bandwagon, we're seeing some strong companies come onto it, and I'm really excited to see how that plans out as well.
Yes, overall, let's say the next decade or so, or the next 2 decades probably, we'll have to see how does this integrate into our own lifestyle. If you look at India, the contribution of e-commerce to FMCG is hardly 3 to 4%. But you look at countries like China or the UK or even Southeast Asia like Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, it's greater than 15 to 20%. So over a period of time, it's going to increase in terms of contribution for Indian market. I would like to hear more from Sobrin because as a leader in digital international business and digital marketing, how do you think the outlook of a marketer will change if we look at building a digital channel versus some channel that is already existing, let's say for your regular traditional trade business?
As I said that from a traditional FMCG perspective, we would bank on the channels made by other people. We would not want to reinvent the wheel ourselves. So, for example, could be Instamart, Zepto, Amazon, or even modern trade coming up with their own channels is what I would look at. What Pranav said was very interesting is the two ways we can look at traditional FMCG companies would come online as one, partner with brands such as this, because we really do not have the agility that new age brands have, and they do not have the physical bandwidth to distribute. So that's a very good symbiotic partnership that we're going to see. And we've already seen it at HUL, Emami, Marico, all the likes. I mean, for the longest time, HUL used to call online brands crap, can't realize any profits. That was their internal slogan. And now they are hopped onto that bandwagon. Second, where we see brands such as us playing a role is to engage our customers, to keep them interested. Hence, for example, there was this very interesting thing done by Red Bull that whichever restaurant you go, they had a QR code. To scan the QR code, you have to play a virtual reality game. And if you succeeded, you get a Red Bull free. Right there. Right? And they had 5 or 6 different scenarios. You could choose one in Venice, one in London, and there was certain game. So what we are finding is that even like, let's say when traditional brands like Fruity has Alia Bhatt or Ramcharan or Smooth has Varun Dhawan. So what we're trying to do is maintain the interest of our customers in our brands digitally and be relevant. Because in the current era, if you're not hot or cool, you're not wanted. Right? So we're trying to make our products hot and cool digitally and reach out to the customers and bring them to an online platform to engage with us and tell us whether our products are fitting their mindset or not. I think that is where our digital game plan would be, because the distribution is largely sorted. We are there, but we have to keep our consumers interested in our products, else we lose relevance.
Very interesting. One of those success stories of paperboard is the entire childhood memories concept, right? So if you kind of flip around a paperboard juice, you'll find something which is interesting, which will take you back to your earlier days, right? In the context of what Sylvie just said, right? How do you reinvent your brand positioning in the digital parlance? How do you think paperboard should look at the strategy for the brand or building or strengthening the imagery of paperboard online?
So, like you said, the paperboard is all about nostalgia. And Sahar sir almost last year also, he just trying to put my leg about how your paperboard is selling. So, as a paperboard, we are trying to meet whatever demands are there by giving them a unique product range. So we are coming, you all know what flavors we are selling, right? About, that Ampanna, Jaljeera, Chili Guava, all those flavors were not part of Indian beverages. If you just, in Indian, I will say packaged beverages. So we came up with that range. Now we are coming up with, say, again, say, I'm from HUL, so I will just compare between surf and wheel. Surf is a little bit premium, where wheel is for the mass market. Likewise, we have paperboard with high pulp contents, whereas we already made available swing, that is with low pulp content, just to get into the market fit of all the players like Fruity, Maaza, Apple. Now we are coming up with dry fruit range that is also available on e-commerce platform, and slowly it is available in rest of the channels. So as a company, yes, we are always try to make our customer a delightful experience they should get from all the paperboard ranges. And we are coming up with all those. You must have seen all the packaging is not with very glossy packaging is not there, right? Some people may find it is a very dull packaging. Some people may find it, but now it is acceptable, right? So that way we are trying to invent ourselves. We try to manage and try to meet the demands.
One very interesting point I just thought of when Vexer was talking is paperboard is online. Just let's assume paperboard is online. Paperboard has 10 lakh customers online. That's the assumption we put in. And paperboard is launching an all new category. I believe Happy Low is going strong onto that category. Thus, there are other people who are also adding to the category because nuts and dry fruits are a large category.
Yeah.
Enough share for everyone to take out their products. Now, if paperboard, sorry if I'm taking the example, I'm just
Sure, please go.
If paperboard was online, they have a data set of 15 lakh customers who purchase from them, who know paperboard, they have the address, they have the pin code, they have the demographic of the person of the customer, everything end to end. If they launch online, the first thing that the team would do is launch an email or a WhatsApp shooter or an SMS, wherein you could expect X conversion and immediately 15 lakh or 20 lakh people who you have already serviced know about your product. This is not possible in the offline. So what happens over here is your launches on the offline processes are much more tedious. You are going to that same FMCG route through the GT, he will place it there. It will take a year or so, or probably 2 years for the customer to realize that paperboard has launched a almond, which in an online space I could have cross-sold or upsold in a jiffy, right? The minute I launch, I have a ready set market to test on. So this is the essence of what FMCG e-commerce balance has to be, wherein I suggest that this should be a very important test ground at least. Maybe 15 lakh pieces may not be a very large, volume for a P&L which is about 4,000 crores, but it can play a substantial, tool to fire your engine. So I would say a balance between e-com and offline is just necessary. I think this was a perfect example of how you can really use the data which I was talking about to launch newer categories, which is not possible through the offline channels. Your GT consumer doesn't even know the GT seller doesn't know who's buying from him. It's probably just the consumption that is going on. You don't have any kind of persona except of the analysis that you can make it that Maharashtra is selling 20% and Bombay is selling 7% from there and Chhattisgarh is selling 30%. But in this kind of an arrangement, you have granular level data which helps you refine your marketing company. Thus, I am talking about insisting upon how FMCG companies need to put their foot forward to keep up with the pace. I have been backed by Imami Group today. Through the journey, we have seen very clearly that large-scale FMCGs acknowledge that we don't have the agility that a startup can provide to us. Thus, we join hands. And today, for me to build a distribution worth 10 lakh touch points, such as Imami, it will take me years and years. This is a 40-year-old legacy we've joined hands with, right? So I would say this is the way where new age marries old age and then creates the perfect consumer balance for the new age.
Correct. I completely agree. E-commerce will give you the data. E-commerce will give you the gender level data, right? What currently you guys are studying in MBA, the what is that? What do that subjects are called? Buying behavior, consumer behavior, gender level products are making this with the
Code analysis or
yeah, the typical Philip Kotler thing which I am talking about. So the Philip Kotler says ki, this is what the marketing team is doing at gender level, region level, and demographic level. So this data is easily available if you are on e-commerce platform. And you can create magic if you have a good hands-on on e-commerce data. Like what we have, so we discussed about the paperboard dry fruit. We are selling 1 kg dry fruit on e-commerce platform, but we have created 55 gram dry fruit pack available for general trade. The way we are discussing about 500 रुपए का product ही बिकना चाहिए, हम 1800 का बेचते हैं. So this is what the basic difference between e-commerce and traditional channels.
So in fact, I'll give you a small example as to how my company would scale to GT. Today I've joined hands with the Mami and as we strengthen our JV, we have a few categories that we would want to launch offline. For instance, we have a product called Everyday Fiber. It is one of the top selling fiber products or supplements in the country. Number one on Amazon, selling good volumes online. That's a 200-gram product under 750 rupees here. It works for me online. I have repeat purchase. I have great organic sales coming in. My CF2 is positive. Now, if I really want to launch this in retail, people would not be wanting to spend 750 rupees for a bulk pack, right? What I may do over here is come in comparison with launch single serve sachets of 4 grams, priced at rupees 6. Now, does it make sense to have this retail touch point activated with 10 lakh touch points coming in? So, what happens is, like Sir rightly mentioned, businesses have, very clearly demarcated what SKUs go online and what SKUs may go offline. Similarly, you see brands such as Mama, they have baskets or larger AV products online because of the marketing cost that they incur behind fueling that. But once you are a customer, you certainly stick around and then, possibly you could be buying it from the chemist next door if they have really, expanded their reach. At the end, I would say the rules of scaling a business remain the same as the 4 P's of marketing. This product, price, place, availability, all of that. So it remains the same, but an additional channel gets added on with quick commerce or I would say e-commerce. More specifically, quick commerce is something that is very new age in India. We're still testing how that pans out because I don't know how much money I can make if I wanted to deliver something in 20 minutes. And the customer is so pampered that he needs everything that he wants at that same moment. And if I'm ready to pay 80 rupees for delivery charge when my coriander which I'm ordering costs 20 rupees itself, right? So उधर के लिए आऊंगा मैं नीचे से. So quick commerce is certainly a new phenomenon which has begun in the last 2 years. But e-commerce, I would say, has its own merits.
So, Pranav, you mentioned an interesting point around quick commerce and how a dhania or a cut fruits or a pack of cigarettes or contraceptives or maybe beer, right? These are some of the categories that are sort of prevalent on quick commerce channels at the moment. But if you look at this, you need to have this information or data, as we spoke of, for us to make a decision of what sort of business models or what sort of categories can sell fly quickly on quick commerce. So when if I ask you, Survey, what do you think from a data perspective is going to help you firstly identify which are the areas of opportunity for your business and which ones do you think are a gap at the moment that you are not able to find, and therefore you have to make intuitive, judgmental calls really in the absence of data.
From a digital perspective, what we generally track is where the new products like Pranav's companies are really making a dent. Because in a lot of marketplaces, you get to know the number one, number two. You may not have the exact data, but Amazon preferred or such segments. from what Abhay sir said is that we get to know taste preferences. Like chili guava is an excellent. And now yesterday Coke launched chili guava, right? Even Parle has launched chili guava in smooth, right? So we are